Hi everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Nice to
Hey
meet you
guys.
all.
So yes, thank you again all for coming. It's me, Malika, and Ivan here hosting this call today. And today we have two great projects. The first one is Kaidro, and the co-founders are here to pitch the project. Here in the chat, I put the link to their pitch deck and the Telegram handle of the founder. So you guys can reach out to the team after the call.
So yeah, I think we can start right now.
So a bit of background about Peggy and myself. We've been in the entertainment industry for about 15 years. And so we've spanned the gamut from AAA games all the way to blockbuster films. Peggy and I actually started out in the film industry first. We've worked on projects like Jurassic World, Pacific Rim, Battle Angel Alita, Transformers. We've worked directly with Michael Bay. We've worked directly with Guillermo del Toro. A lot of this was us getting established within that space and helping shape those films. And initially we started out as concept artists, but because of our colorful background and all the different things that we like to get our hands into and mess around with, we quickly expanded into game development. We quickly expanded into CG development, script development, and our production studio GadgetBot grew out of all of the success that we had. From that time period, we moved from film all the way over to games. With games, we helped out projects like Call of Duty, Treyarch for like 10 plus years now at this point. And we've also moved on to helping Tencent's Call of Duty. So we have a lot of experience within AAA titles, helping out Apex Legends to Apex Legends Mobile, helping out Last of Us, and the list goes on and on and on with what we've been doing over on that side. And so that really helped us establish who we are, what we know in the space, and what we've been doing. But Peggy and I have always been dabbling within Web3 and learning about the space over the last few years, and that's where Kaidro comes from. So Kaidro is an intellectual property that Peggy and I started a few years ago. This IP was all started around our fan base, these comics that you see here on screen. This was something that we were always burning the midnight oil for and creating in the background. It was a story we were passionate about in a world that our fan base was passionate about as well. Peggy and I grew a following of over 1 million people over on TikTok and across our other forms of social media. No, we are not dancing and singing over on TikTok. This is a place where we talk about world building, story creation, and IP development. People come to us as professionals in the space to ask us questions about how the entertainment industry works. And so because of the success that we've had multiple Kickstarters that have blossomed out of those comic books. But because of this, we've also formed many strong relationships and partnerships. So like what Donald has on screen here right now is the Kaidro animation series. We formed a really strong partnership with Tim Hendrick. He's the writer of Avatar, The Last Airbender, Korra. He's been a part of those projects for over a decade. He's also a showrunner for the Fast and the Furious TV show. Donald, you can go ahead and play this as well. The music for the trailer is not going to play here on Zoom, as far as I'm aware. But we also formed really strong partnerships with people like ODESZA. ODESZA is a band duo that's world known. Their music is huge within projects like Game of Thrones, Divergent, I believe is the name of the series.
Divergent, yeah.
Yeah, Divergence. And so we have a partnership with them, an exclusive partnership to use their music within the Kaidro IP and the Kaidro animation series. All of this comes down to how Peggy and I sort of bake out our entire pipeline when it comes to creating the IP. So when it comes to the animation series, when it comes to creating the comics, when it comes to creating the game, everything runs through a pipeline system that we've created that runs in Unreal 5. So everything you're seeing in this animation here, if you don't have a chance to watch the trailer clearly because it's glitchy here over on Zoom, I'd highly suggest you check out links for it. We'll also be dropping this trailer very soon with our partnerships at the end of this month. But everything itself runs through Unreal 5. So we developed our own shaders, we've developed our own techniques in order to match the hand-drawn look. The only thing that is not entirely CG are the characters. The characters are all hand-drawn throughout the series because it's in a style and aesthetic choice throughout the whole IP. But what this means is that we create an asset once, it goes into our library, and we can reuse that asset across the entire intellectual property. It gets used in the comic, it gets used in the animation series, and it gets used in the game. This reduces manpower, person power. This reduces cost of the overall intellectual property as well. Keeps our burn rate very low. It allows for us to work with a team of like 15 people across the entire IP. And so much so we can even print these same 3D assets. So I know it's very small on screen right now, but you can see in my hands that I'm actually holding that asset that you see that's on screen. So this has made its way across the entire intellectual property, and we do this over and over and over again. So from this point, we're here to talk about the whole IP, but we also should cover a bit about the game. So the Kaidro game itself is an isometric PvPvE action RPG. This is a space where players come together, choosing individual clans that they're a part of. And every season, they're competing for rank as to who's going to win that season as that specific clan. We chose an isometric game because this is the easiest sort of onboarding for players, and especially knowing our fan base as well and others out there, like with Axes, with the Ronin network. This is a very comfortable way for people to get involved with the game without experiencing motion sickness. This is a place where people are building their own legends, building their own stories through collecting armor sets, through playing as those clans, and unlocking those stories as they unfold. We went with this style because we actually built the game quite a few different times. We built it as one thing first, which is purely just an RPG. Then we built it purely as sort of like a battle royale. And then we found a space in between the two after multiple game testing, where people got to live in the story of Kaidro. And that's an important thing here, is that Kaidro is all about story and it's all about world building. The lore itself is like Lord of the Rings. It's a very in-depth world across the entire IP. And what that means here is that we aren't exploring just the story of Ava from the comics. We're exploring your own individual story in the world of Kaidro. And we have a lot of crossovers. As the stories continue to unfold in the comic series, the clans and the players themselves will start to make their way into the overall IP. So I can share a little bit with you of our roadmap as well. Kaidro has multiple different arms of it, but we've been building it for the last couple of years and preparing for a very strong launch this year of 2024. So there's multiple different avenues of this. When we look at something like the Web3 roadmap, this is covering sort of our NFT and token launch throughout this year. At the end of this month, we're going to be launching the Kaidro journals. This is sort of like a key that allows you onto the Kaidro website. That starts allowing you to interact with quests, but also to become a part of that overall Kaidro universe. This is a free mint. It allows anyone in and allows for them to start interacting with the IP. As we get into March, we're going to start experiencing our first paid mint. This ties into the lore of Kaidro. We start to give each individual person their own mech within that space, and more quests and more things start to unlock over on the website. And the reason why I keep bringing up the website and this sort of Web3 element is that we want the overall IP to live as a sort of traditional Web2 project. This means we're not gatekeeping. People can come in and read the comics over on Webtoons. People can come and play the game over on Steam. But the website itself acts as sort of the overall ecosystem and universe of the IP. Everything ties back into the website, from the game to the comics. And this is where you can think of it like sort of like a loyalty program. People are earning ranks and rewards and points over on the website through reading the comics, through playing the game and watching the animation series. And these NFTs all unlock elements of that over on the website throughout the course of the year. Shortly after our mech mint in March, we're going to be doing a closed alpha testing for the game. And so this is a way for players to start actually getting in there with their NFTs as skins in the space, allowing our Kickstarter backers to join in as well with the game, and really just starting to stress test the servers. We have a very aggressive campaign for this game because we've been building for the last couple of years to really just test it with more of an open audience as the year unfolds, all the way to our launch in August later this year. And then more seasons of the game will be launching as well after that. We also have Comic 4 releasing. So, we always print individual copies. Like you can see what I have in my hand here is actually book 3 right now. And this is over on Webtoon, so anyone can read this as well, but it'll also be on our website for people to earn points from. Book 4 will be releasing, allowing players to earn more points over on the website and collect more of the next installment of the Kaidro intellectual property. And then kind of taking a strong look at our roadmap when it comes to marketing, there's a lot of launches this year, from things from the very first animation trailer that's coming out at the end of this month, to the clan comics that are releasing in March, to the audiobooks that are releasing from comic 1, 2, and 3 throughout the course of this year, to our second cinematic trailer that's launching with our game at the end of this year. So you're going to be hearing about Kaidro everywhere online throughout this year. It's a very strong overall roadmap throughout the course of that year. And that's kind of a quick look at the overall Kaidro IP. Our next steps is we'll be launching the Kaidro website at the end of this month. There's already a version of the website live now, but this is the gamified website that will be tied into all forms of the intellectual property. And this is just a quick look at giving you an idea of those launch cadences, what that looks like month to month, where we're at with that build, and kind of what those quests look like across the overall website. So like we mentioned, there's about 1.2 million followers for Peggy and myself across all of our forms of social media. Kaidro alone has its own fan base directly out of that.
I can cover a little bit of what we've done recently. If you do a search for hashtag Kaidro or hashtag KaidroVO, what we do is we involve the audience and the community. That's like a big thing in Web3, and it's something we've been doing in the Web2 side of Kaidro for a very long time, the last few years as we've been coming out with a comic. What we did was we created contests. So in the past, we created character contests. So people will be able to submit a video of themselves, like acting as a character, dressed as a character, their own character. And then also they can submit a drawing. And so if they end up being like the ones that get chosen, we draw them into the comic. And so we've been doing that for year after year. And our latest one was done actually just 2 weeks ago, where you get to be a voice for a character in Kaidro. So because we're doing the audiobook, we brought on some top talent. Like we have people from
you can be a voice actor in the Kaidro audio.
From the new Game of Thrones. We also have people from like Spirited Away. We have Ash from Pokemon. She's doing the voice for us for one of our characters. So we have like some great talent there. And what we do is we have these, secondary or like background characters that need voices as well. So that's where we pick 10 people and put them into the audiobook. And it's a great way to get a lot of people like interested. I believe we had I think you have the metrics on that one, the number of people that were into it.
Yeah, so if you just look up Kaidro in general, you'll see everyone's faces. We're not hiding anything here. What I'm looking for at the moment are our hashtags. On the website version, they are a little harder to find. So I have to search through individual people's profiles in order to pull those up for you. If there's anything you want to cover there,
that's going to be Quincy has it.
Here we go. So for instance, if you look up the Kaidro VO, you'll see that there's 301 posts that actual people have made who are a part of these actual contests, who want to be voice actors. These are the fan base of Kaidro that's following us. These are real people. They show their faces because they want to see the Kaidro IP grow. But this is just a small fraction of that overall Kaidro fan base. If we go back and actually check out the Kaidro hashtag itself, not just the VO one, let me pull that up. You'll see that there is almost 14,000 posts over the years from fans, from Peggy and I making videos, from people who just want to be a part of the Kaidro intellectual property. What's more important that you can't see here right now, if you check it out on your phones, you can, is that Kaidro, this hashtag, has about 60 million views at this point. And if you check out the Kaidro VO, it has, I think, 400 to 500,000 views currently. So there's a lot of interaction just across this fan base and what they do for the Kaidro intellectual property.
Thanks, guys. There is a hand from Joshua.
Hey, Robert. Josh Hale. Hey, I've got a question for you. You've had a strong showing on Kickstarter. Have you guys thought about breaking into the tabletop industry? It's the strongest sector on Kickstarter, and it might be a good segue for you to get additional audience through your Kickstarter.
That is a really great question. It's something Peggy and I have talked about because obviously we're fans of tabletop games in general. It just really comes down to a matter of partnerships and putting out resources in certain areas. So, our big focus has been...
exactly. So I've got a huge background in tabletop. I sent you a request on LinkedIn. I can connect you to one of the biggest tabletop companies in terms of Kickstarter that are out there. They did the Kickstarter for Fantastic Factories. So add me on LinkedIn and I'll set you up with a meeting with them.
Definitely. I'll do that right now. Thank you so much for that, Josh.
No worries. Bye-bye.
Dr. Adel Al-Masri.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for having me here. And I'm a big fan of the same approach, just kind of like showing you same thing.
Awesome.
Nice.
So, nice.
Yes. So we need to definitely speak about that. And my main point here would be about tokenomics. I come from AI, blockchain, I got into the comics just because I like him. And I have 3 successful exits. One is a unicorn now. But the tokenomics, if you are going into Web3, tokenomics you thought of, and have you ever considered the 404 that just launched by Pandora and Syncrap?
We would prefer to go over tokenomics in a meeting with anyone here who is interested in talking with us after this call. There's just a lot to go over in that detail and how it ties to the overall ecosystem.
What I will say, Dr. Adel, am I saying your name correctly? Adel, right? Dr. Adel? What I will say is that we've actually had quite a bit of tokenomic experts to support us. So Travis Wu, one of Binance's top project called High Street, worked on our tokenomics. In addition to that, we had Block Brands, who are also experts on tokenomics, worked on us with it. There's a lot we can cover with tokenomics. We can do like a 3-hour session because there was a lot that we have incorporated to make it better and get our advisors to support us. But definitely, it will take the remaining of this call for sure to cover all of the tokenomic aspects. So definitely, we can do a separate call on that. We're happy to do that.
Sweet. I'll post my LinkedIn. Please reach out.
Thank you. Awesome. Very cool.
Thank you. Miguel, Futurist.
Yes, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I have a quick question as somebody who's worked in go-to-market for mainly Web3 for the last 6 years and several GameFi projects in our portfolio. We are currently working on a Web2 game project, and I wanted to ask you guys, how did you make the decision to why did you make the decision to specifically go into Web3 versus Web2? And is it true, or have you found such a thing within the audience, the gaming audience out there, that there's this rift of Web2 gamers that do not condone of Web3 gaming or Game 3 titles, and vice versa? Whereas obviously the market share that sort of the Web2 world of games does not want to give to Web3 games, for example, why Web3 games are almost impossible to launch, for example, on Steam. So we just wanted to know what was your experience with that, and have you, what was your thinking behind the core of it?
Definitely. I mean, we've been developing within the space for about 2 years now, and really just watching everyone, seeing where things are kind of unfolding, where things are going. This is why we don't believe in putting Web3 elements directly into the game itself. The game needs to be open, it needs to be fun for people to come in, play, be a part of this, join the universe, be a part of it overall. We've incorporated all of our Web3 elements directly into the website. So for us, really taking a strong look at the traditional Web2 space and what Web3 is, we believe that there's a world where the two can live together within the overall market. It's just partitioning where things go. Like, our game is not a slot machine in how it works. Like, it's like a typical seasonal based game. This is a place where people go in, buy a season pass, and they contribute to that overall season in terms of winning assets and things like that. When we look at the website, you could see it a little bit more like Starbucks. Like, Starbucks is doing this right now with Polygon, launching their NFT sets to a very normal market within that space, which is, it's more like a rewards program. And that's very much how we view this as well, is that we tie in the entire ecosystem intellectual property. And so people who have collected their NFTs, they can reward those as skins in the game, for an example. And through playing the game, certain quests will unlock over on the website. But the game itself is not a Web3 game. It's a Web2 game that allows people into the space to come in, try it, and play it, and be a part of this overall universe. And that's very much how we view the whole go-to-market strategy for the intellectual property. So, like, for example, like the comics already live over on Webtoons. Like, we aren't pulling anything from anyone over there, but you will earn certain points on the website if you read the comics over there with your wallet attached.
I would also say, I think one of the reasons why some of our investors are fascinated by Kaidro is Peggy and Robert has also done a really good job in educating, softly educating their fan base to understand Web. So it isn't something where they're using the kitchen sink approach and just vomiting all of the Web3 aspect to these Web2 fan base. They're slowly educating to understand how these Web2 fan base can own a part of Kaidro to a degree and be a part of it long term. And so I think
a big part of it is the trust factor, because they've been with us for many years since the beginning of the project for Kaidro on TikTok and all that, and it going to Webtoons, but they do trust us. And that was the big thing that we kept seeing comments on when we were to start introducing NFTs and talking about Web3 space to them. They said that, they've only heard rumors and things like that, but they trust us and like our directive on what we want to do with it. So, that trust is really important, is that our audience is aware and they know and they're excited. And the really important thing here is too, we're not hidden. We don't have like they know who we are. We make videos. So at this point, they do trust us with this space.
We've also done wallet videos with them, showing them how to set up a wallet, how to get involved with NFTs. So like it's been very integrated into our entire ecosystem already for like the last year and a half at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks guys. And yeah, there are some comments in the chat. That make a lot of sense, I think, from the Dr. Adel again, that the best Web3 games are Web2, where you don't even know that it is a Web3. Yeah, Dr. Adel, do you want to? Yeah.
So that's the whole idea behind Horus Wallet. It's a social based system that allows you to just jump into the game. It creates the wallet in the back end for you, gives you all options for whether it is like Gmail or Facebook or something like that. And it's just smoothen the curve to come in. And you come in for the gameplay, you have an easy onboard, and then the tokenomics help you realize how much you can do better in the game. And that's the stickiness factor afterwards.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Kaidro, for the great pitch, and thank you guys for very interesting questions. Now, passing the mic to Emmanuel, the founder, the CEO of Ispolink and Ispoverse, right? Please.
Yeah. Hi guys, it's a pleasure to meet you. I am very excited to be here and talk more about what we do. All right, so my name is Emmanuel. I am the CEO and founder of the Ispoverse. This is the newest play-to-earn game which we are developing. So here we are taking a look at the market size, and we can see this is really a rapidly evolving industry. Currently, it's valued about 8.9 billion, but it's expected to grow 10 times more in the coming years. So here we are diving into our product, which is called the Ispoverse. It's a blockchain-based game, play-to-earn, built for the next billion users. Basically, the idea about the game is that we're connecting brands and gamers together. So this could be a Web2 brand or a project called Web3, but of course, we are starting with this. So what really fascinated us is that we find out that more than 80% of the young generation actually are playing games on a weekly basis, and the avatar has become really popular trend, especially for the young people, and we find that there's really good ways in order to educate your audience through gamification and quests. So there's a lot that's coming, like brand recognition and new marketing channels. So actually we are the first movers to come up with such kind of concept. So basically our game called Ispoverse has different set of experiences. So here you can see that we built a whole infrastructure comprised of skyscraper, where we have different types of office spaces where every project can rent and join from us. They are useful for collaboration, for meetings, for showcasing NFTs and other cool utilities. The next thing which we have is more luxurious space, which is a mansion, which has all these capabilities, even the ability to do some screen sharing, but it's more spacious with swimming pool and stuff like that. On the center actually of our game is the central square. So this is the main place where all players are intersecting and going through. So it's a great way to highlight projects. Then we built a Web3 campus where we are enabling players and brands and etc. to get a few more about the educational aspect going into Web3 space. And of course, we have our own own HQ, which we start with. Then we have other things like NFT galleries, multiplayer thematic games, parties, and so on. So our game is fueled basically by our native token. It has a really essential role in the whole ecosystem, and as you can tell, it's play-to-earn token. So basically, I'll go through some of the utilities which we have. We have few ways to reward users. The first one is through reward systems, and this could be based on completion of time quests or overall quests. Then the users on the experience can purchase wide variety of items with tokens. Of course, they can acquire NFT passes to go to events or hackathons. And what's really good feature actually is that we're introducing the ability to burn NFTs in order to receive tokens. So everything has been designed with the users in mind. So how do we make money? Basically, we have various monetization mechanisms. So for instance, we can talk about getting and renting a HQ from us, or hosting a big event or a hackathon. So the best part is, even if you're a new project and you have no technical capabilities, we've developed the whole infrastructure, which can be personalized, and it's really easy to use. So the other things which we actually generate money from are by selling assets, by selling passes. So this could be different types of avatars, etc. And then we have the ability to conduct AMAs and one-time events. So our go-to-market strategy is basically to reward the first players of our experience by giving them early adopter NFTs. So we can here see some of the examples. By the way, this is like our main character. And the other is, of course, incentivized testnet, which will be airdropping tokens to the people which are completing quests or spending time on the game. So for the brand part, we are basically looking to conduct partnerships with recognizable players from the Web3 space, and also work on integrations. So the Ispolink is part of the Ispolink ecosystem. So to give you an idea, basically we started our journey in Web3 with our first product, which is called Ispolink. It's Web3 developer platform, which is connecting seasoned devs and companies with AI mechanisms. We already have solid traction. We've been building for 3 years. We managed to raise nearly 2 million by some of the leading investors in the space, including Magnus Capital, Jamboa Capital, also some of the Out21 Capital. So we have really close connection with Polygon, because they actually support us to raise this round. So right now our ecosystem is expanding, and we're connecting the whole thing and leveraging this with our new gaming product, which is being integrated in the core platform. But yeah, there's a lot of things that we can actually do. And here you can see some of the notable partnerships we have, like Polygon, Mountain Network, ZK-Link, LeFi, etc. So our team is pretty seasoned. We're builders. We've been in the crypto space since 2017. This is my second project. We managed to build a really great domain expertise, and we pretty much understand how everything works in this space. So we have seasoned developers and marketeers, and etc. So regarding our traction, we managed to grow a really huge community around our project. We have more than 130k people. The game itself has been in development for more than 2 years, so I'm very excited to share that it's fully developed right now, and we are doing final preparations. Along with that, we managed to onboard really good early partners which show interest in having position in this. And I'm also really excited, because last year we managed to graduate the accelerator of Team Draper in San Francisco. So this gave us really competitive edge, understanding about the opportunities in the US market, but also building some key relations there. So currently we are raising token round. We're currently raising 3.5 million, and these funds will be used mainly for operations, marketing, doing events, and of course improving the game itself. So we're expecting really good revenue streams in the coming reasons, because our monetization mechanisms are really great. So on the roadmap, you can see here basically when we started building offer releases, and etc. So what's next for us is actually to conduct the token sale, to do the incentivized testnet, and by the end of the year we're expecting mobile compatibility, and early next year VR integration. So that's it. Thank you for your attention. So if any of you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. Or just give me a second, I forgot. I can demonstrate actually how it looks like, so you can get a feel of it. So this is really short teaser where we have the main avatar. Actually, this is the premium space, this is the high scraper. We have the ability to conduct some parties and stuff like that. This is the central square with positioning of some brands. It's pretty cool immersive experience, and the best part is everything is converging, and it's really good even for live streaming and all kind of multiplayer interactions, which are going to happen. So this is how the game looks like. So here we have this is from the skyscraper space. Then we have the rooftop with some events and parties. This is where the sponsors in the center, all players are passing by. This gives like great brand recognition. One more thing, which is pretty cool. This is a special venue for blockchain-based events and hackathons. And the best part is every brand can have a really strong presence and personalize its booth, so to speak, and there are possibilities to do live streams, to do some call to actions. For example, on these displays, when you put in a link, you can direct the user towards your website or ask him to do an app download, etc. So this is like a short preview of one of the other things which we have on the game itself.
Nice, thank you. Questions? Everything is clear. No questions so far.
Okay. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ping me on Telegram or I'll drop my contact.
Okay, something from Joshua. Numbers are the only thing that will make gaming projects interesting to most investors. Who is playing and how much are they spending? It's not a question, I guess. But interesting.
That's absolutely true. But I would say for our experience, the best part is we can run different types of events and say, let's say we have $10,000 for players to explore the newest event or newest partner that is positioned there, and basically we will be rewarding users based on like their achievements, whether they are one of the first comers to complete the quest, etc. So there are a lot of in-game incentives which are helping them to keep and stay engaged. Of course, we try to give our best in order to build a really appealing experience, which the players would look like. But of course, we expect to have more traction on that. The best part is everything, like how much time you're spending on the game, which links are you clicking, etc., can be tracked. So we expect to have such kind of data really soon, but indicatively speaking, we expect within the early testnet launch to attract between 30 and 50k players. That's like our estimates.
Okay, thank you. That was meant to be private to you, but it's valid and they have no numbers, it sounds like.
So as I mentioned, the game is fully developed. We already built everything, so we are at the stage where we are going to open it to the public gradually. And of course, in the process, we will be introducing all the incentives with the tokens and etc. So that's like in terms of development, we are done. So we are now focusing more on the fundraising part and getting the right partners and resources to help us achieve amazing results and adoption for the game itself.
All right. And that's one for me. So I would like to know on which platforms the game should be released soon and what features should be available for starters.
So currently we have partners like centralized exchanges like Bitmart. We are also in talks with KuCoin. We have confirmed a couple of Web3 projects which are also onboarded. So currently there are about 10 Carbon browser pools. We're also in discussion with DeFi. So we're expecting these numbers to actually grow when we start positioning ourselves. But as I mentioned, we already have a built core community across social media, Telegram, Twitter, etc. And we have the expertise, so it's a matter of time to align these things. But generally the interest has been pretty high. We even received I was on a call with Manta Network, and they said that this is something very interesting for them that they want to try out. So we will be definitely looking to cooperate more with big ecosystem players like Layer 2, Layer 1 projects, which can help us to achieve the network effect and faster rate of adoption.
I think my question wasn't that clear, so I can repeat that again. And by the way, thanks for your explanation. Amazing. So I actually wanted to ask you what features will be available when the game is released. So first features that the players will see.
Okay. Sorry. I didn't hear you well. Okay. Yeah. So currently we've developed a couple of quests. So one of the coolest quests is the parkour, which is a challenge where it gives the ability to player to do some jumping and etc. things for time. But actually the cool thing is it goes through the whole experience. It gives them like an initial idea. We also have mini games and other types of quests, but the best thing is we're developing also some storytelling. So our main character, which is the giant, the Ispolink giant, is actually introducing them into the game. So there's some kind of background story, what they have to do, where do they have to go, and this gives them like better understanding what we do, what is our mission, what is our goals, and how do we plan to accomplish them. So I would say there's a lot of surprises for everyone. So be sure to follow us and see what we have prepared.
Yeah, sounds great. Anyways, we have your links in the chat below. So I think, Malika, we can wrap this up. So thank you guys for being here on the call. Shout out to everyone here. It was amazing. Thank you, Emmanuel, again for your presentation. And also the previous project was also great too. Donald, huge thumbs up. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. Stay tuned and see you next time. Goodbye. Take care. Yeah, see you soon.